Xander Holt here. Welcome to the Rock Hard for Life kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to make horny hamburger soup. And we're going to make it in the slow cooker. This is part of the slow cooker recipe series that I'm making so that you can fix meals quickly. You can prepare them within 15 minutes, stick them in the slow cooker, and by the time you get home, you've got a meal that will boost your sexual performance. So first of all, I just want to quickly say that you don't necessarily need an Instant Pot. This is an Instant Pot. It has a slow cooker function. You could just get a regular old Crockpot. I do recommend though if you're going to get a Crockpot, get one that is a little upgraded and has a timer on it so that when your food is done cooking, it won't overcook. It'll just switch to warm mode. So when you get home, it's nice and warm and ready to eat. Fantastic. So let's go ahead and start with this. First of all, what we're going to do is get some grass-fed beef. Okay, this is ground grass-fed beef. Now, of course, this is hamburgers too, so that's what you'd use. Now, you'll notice when I do use meat in these, I tend to use this grass-fed ground beef quite a bit. Simply because it's easy to find. It's, your local grocery store like Kroger sells this. And it's a lot more difficult to find good quality poultry products. You don't want to eat conventional poultry products. You don't want to eat conventional beef products either, but particularly poultry. Because the quality of those meats and what they feed those meats are just, you don't want to ingest that, all that estrogen and antibiotics and all that crap. This is much better. It's easier to find. So we're going to start with 1.5 pounds of the ground beef. So I'm going to put this right here in the Instant Pot. And I'm going to open this one up. So each one of these packages are 1 pound. Okay, so I'm going to put half of this one in. And the great thing about grass-fed beef, it is chock full of bioavailable vitamins, especially B vitamins, vitamin A, retinol. The fats are much better quality than you get in a conventional beef product. So really, really good for you in that sense. And I always say that if you're going to eat animal products, it's always best to spend your money on good quality animal products versus like organic vegetables. I do that too, but you're not going to take as big a hit from a conventional plant product than you will from a conventional animal product, because this is concentrated. When it's conventional, it's concentrated with toxins in it, stuff you don't want. All right, so 1.5 pounds of the beef. Now we're going to go into the potatoes. So what we're going to do here is we're going to get 2 large russet potatoes. I'm going to rinse it off a little bit, and then we're going to peel it and slice it. So I'm going to get this peeler here. I've got a little trash can right here, so I'm just going to peel right into the trash can. Now, potatoes are a really great prebiotic. So your gut, does really well with potatoes. In general, white potatoes in particular, white potatoes are very gentle on the gut. And white potatoes are also really high in potassium, which is really good for you. So actually a really good food. And of course they taste delicious and they're great with meat. So I'm going to peel these up, get them nice and peeled. There's a little bruise on there, get that off. And then we're going to cut them up. So you don't have to when I do this, I tend to do it in the morning. So, it's ready to eat when I get home. And a lot of times I have my daughter with me who's in middle school. So, while she's eating her breakfast, I'm getting dinner prepared. And then I don't have to worry about it. And that's the beautiful thing about these slow cooker recipes. You just get it done in the morning first thing. And like I said, it's fast. It takes like 15 minutes to prepare it. And then you got really good quality food to eat. That's one of the biggest problems guys run into is they have good intentions, but they're busy, and they end up, getting hungry and then eating crap and then feeling bad they ate the crap. Well, here, you've got all this prepared for you already. You just come home and you eat. Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this. So I'm gonna cut it in thirds first. So I'm cutting it long ways in thirds, and then I'm gonna slice it so that you have little smaller slices in there like that. Okay. And you don't have to get super exact about this. Maybe about 1/4 inch thick, something like that. Okay, and just slice it through. Careful of your fingers. Very good. And then we're going to do this other one. Slice it thin. Because this one cooks a little bit longer than most slow cooker recipes. This one takes about 8 hours to get everything nice and tender and delicious. And, all of these dishes that I teach you how to make, they're all testosterone boosters, estrogen lowerers, erection boosters. But there's a reason why I call this one Horny Hamburger soup, is it has a special ingredient in here that really helps with your libido, which we're going to talk about here in just a moment. So let me get all this in here. Good. All right, got our potatoes, and then we're gonna get 2 stalks of celery. So I like to use organic celery here. I'm gonna get 2 stalks out. Now celery is really one of the best foods you can eat as a man, particularly raw celery, but of course it's gonna be cooked in here. Cooked is good too, but particularly raw, it's good. It is a testosterone booster. It has natural androgens in it. And it actually helps to boost your pheromone levels so that you actually smell more manly when you're with your woman. So I'm gonna cut off just this little tip part that has the leafies on it, and then just chop these up here. So, and you don't have to like dice them. I'm just gonna slice them here kind of thin. Get them both at the same time. But as a snack, that's one of my favorite things, is having some celery and some carrots, which I think I'm gonna do next. The celery will boost your testosterone and once again, make you smell more manly. And carrots will help flush estrogen out of your body, particularly if they're raw. Once again, these are gonna be cooked, but they're still really good for you. You're still getting lots of good benefit out of them. Okay, be careful at the end here not to chop your fingers off. All right, 2 stalks of celery. Very good. And then I'm gonna go ahead, here we go, good. I'm gonna go ahead and put the salt and pepper in. You just salt and pepper to taste. I'm gonna put in, I like things pretty peppery. But once again, my daughter's young, so she's not quite into spicy food yet, so I don't tend to overdo it when I'm cooking for the both of us. And these foods, while they boost, a tablespoon of real salt. Redmond's real salt. This is really great salt, unprocessed salt. Now you can salt it to taste. You don't have to put a tablespoon if you don't want. To me, I think that's about right for my flavorings, for my taste buds. But, hold on one sec. 2 onions. You know what? I'm gonna get the onions last. Hold on, let's do this. Let's get the frozen peas. My point was, the reason I'm gonna get onions last is they will tear me up. So, and frozen vegetables are really good. You can tell from my recipes here that I rarely, if ever, I don't think I've done a recipe yet that's from a can. Now sometimes I do use canned foods. I use it sparingly and try to make sure it's BPA free on the can, because BPA is a powerful xenoestrogen. You don't want to be ingesting that. But the frozen vegetables work really convenient. This is a 12-ounce pack of peas, putting that in, and peas are high in vitamin C, vitamin K, and also protein. You get like pea protein, And pea protein has been shown to help increase the amount of probiotics you have in your gut. So it's really good for your gut. And you know, if you follow me, you know how important gut health is to your sexual performance. Really, really important. You got to take great care of your gut. I'm going to get 3 carrots here. Okay. Now you can, just like the potato, if you want, you could skin these. Okay. I don't tend to do that with my carrots. I kind of, you know, carrot skin's perfectly fine with me. And in general, I like to keep the skins on things. When you do, though, see if you can get it organic. These are organic carrots. I'm going to cut the tips off. Cut these off. I'm going to put, I think I got that right in it, 3 carrots. Yeah, 3 carrots. Small to medium carrots. Okay, not these huge honkers. And then we're going to cut these, slice these up. All right. Very good. So just, I like to put them all together and just create little slices like this. Really easy. Like so. Very good. So yeah, the carrots are also a really good prebiotic for your gut. Along with the peas, the potatoes. This is a very gut-friendly, and even the grass-fed beef, very gut-friendly dish here. As well as a powerful erection booster, testosterone booster. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to bring up, is that just because it helps support those things for you, it's perfectly fine for everyone to eat it. It's just good food, right? It's perfectly fine that my daughter eats this or whoever eats this, you know. You need these nutrients in order to support your sexual vitality as a man, but you know, it's just one part of the ecosystem. It's just one part. Nutrition is one part. It's an important part. You got to have it there. You can't ignore it, which is why I'm teaching these meals, because a lot of guys, once again, just being so busy, are having a hard time, you know, making sure that they're getting the staples in their diet that are going to support their sexual vitality. But it's, like I said, it's perfectly fine for the whole family to eat these meals. Okay, it's not going to turn the house into like an orgy situation. Okay, it's not going to make everyone like that horny. But if you're doing the other things in the erection ecosystem, the other things in the IPM ecosystem, impact point matrix, and getting everything, you know, at least working good enough, then these kind of meals you can notice a big difference with this. And it certainly is part of building that foundation. Nutrition is a big part of it. So what I did is I sliced this tomato. I kept the bottom on. See, it's still one piece, but I just made slices. Now I'm going to turn it and cut them the other way, like so. Okay, and this will just allow me to dice this tomato much easier. It just makes much less of a mess if you just keep it all as one piece. All right. And then what I do is just turn it like this and just start chopping. Now tomatoes are full of lycopene, which is really good for your overall sexual performance. And it's also very high in vitamin C. And one of the things you're going to see here in a moment is and vitamin C, by the way, is very good for your blood vessel health, among other things, right? But blood vessel health is very important in sexual performance, so we focus a lot on it. So high vitamin C foods, very important. But when you combine high vitamin C foods with garlic, which this dish has in it, then your nitric oxide production goes up a lot. So garlic itself will produce nitric oxide, but when you combine it with a high vitamin C food, that nitric oxide production goes up 4-fold, 4 times the amount of nitric oxide. So really helpful to combine garlic with vitamin C. So you'll see garlic in a lot of my dishes. And that also, I love garlic. So, you know, I probably wouldn't have done that anyway, even if I didn't know all this stuff. Okay, so let's do the mushrooms. So 1 pound of mushrooms, what I like to do is just buy them pre-sliced. Okay, these are pre-sliced. And I guess they're reduced because I guess they're getting close to their shelf life. So I'm just gonna go ahead and open them up and throw them in, because like with hamburgers, well, mushrooms in themselves, white button mushrooms, are a powerful aromatase inhibitor. And aromatase is an enzyme that your fat cells make that convert free testosterone into estrogen. And you definitely don't want that. So that's why we want to put aromatase inhibitors in there. And mushrooms are one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful. So I use mushrooms a lot, plus I love mushrooms. They're just one of my favorite foods. And when I get hamburgers, and this is a hamburger stew or soup, I almost always get mushrooms on them because I love mushroom hamburgers. I love mushroom with steak. Mushrooms and meat just go together for me, or with a variety of dishes, but I love them. I eat a lot of mushrooms. Don't feel like you have to though. That's because I love them, but they just happen to have these additional health benefits. They're full of nutrition, and once again, they're a very powerful aromatase inhibitor. So lowering your estrogen levels. So we're both boosting your testosterone through what we're putting in here, particularly with our next ingredient, when we're putting in onions. Very powerful testosterone booster. Lowering estrogen, increasing nitric oxide, right, for erections, and as well as libido, which we'll talk about here in a second. So what I'm going to do here is slice this up. Oops. Get the skins off. So what I do is I smash it with my knife and then peel the skins off and then cut the little ends of them off. There we go. And then we just chop it up. I kind of slice and dice. Now, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm not a classically trained chef. But I do love to cook, and I certainly love to eat. So, you know, and I love having awesome sexual performance. And so cooking these meals that accomplish all those things is a no-brainer for me. So, yeah. So you don't have to dice these up like super, super fine, but a little bit so you're not eating big chunks of garlic. But this is cool. This is going to cook, like I said, for 8 hours. So those flavors are really going to diffuse a lot within this meal. Okay. Put that like so. Put that in here. Okay, great. And then, let's see, what's next? Next, we're going to do the ginger. So we're going to put, now I don't measure it out too much. This is a pretty big, kind of cool chunk of fresh ginger. Okay, so what I do is we're going to cut off about 1 inch to maybe a 1/2 inch of it. Okay, ginger's pretty strong in flavor, so you don't want to overdo it. But once again, it's a powerful erection booster, blood flow booster, testosterone booster. Ginger is one of the best things you can use. So, and it's really tasty. But like I said, it will overpower your food if you overdo it. So, like I said, I keep it to maybe about 1 inch to 1/2 inch. And now what I'm doing is I'm just peeling the skin off, and then we're going to grate it. Okay, that's good enough. All right, so now I'm going to get my bowl here with a grater, and then I'm just going to grate it into this bowl. And you just take it and Now you don't have to use a big old grater like this. You can use a smaller one. That's fine too. This is just what I have handy. And do it on the smaller side. They got the big holes and the small holes. Use the small holes. And just grate it up. Oh, it smells so good. Man, it's so good. Just smelling it. Making me hungry. Okay. So once that's grated, then you'll go on the inside here and sort of scoop it out too, like so. All right. And then, you see it doesn't put a whole lot. I just grabbed a big bowl so that the grater would fit in there easily. Put that in there, this in there. And then just add the ginger, fresh ginger, into our dish. Very good. Okay, so now we're gonna get to the onion. So with the onion, you wanna peel it first of all. And what I like to do is leave this bottom portion on. So sort of peel the top of it, because I'm gonna do kind of a similar thing. Well, yeah, almost exactly the same thing that I did with the tomato. Just gonna dice it as one piece. And the way to do that is to leave the bottom on. Plus they claim that if you leave this hairy bottom part on there, that it's not as rough on your eyes. I don't know if that's what I've really experienced. It still tends to kind of get me, especially if it's a really potent onion. But once again, onions are fantastic for your testosterone levels. They did some study with rats and gave them onion juice. And it was quite a bit. I gotta admit, it's probably way more than an average person would drink. But their testosterone levels just went through the roof with just onion. So it's a very powerful testosterone booster. And I eat a lot of onions, and it's one of my all-time favorite foods. In fact, I'm gonna cut this top off. See if I can peel this a little better. All right, so we got those peeled. Now what we're gonna do is, like I did with the tomato, I'm just gonna kind of slice it. Oops, that one went a little further than I wanted. Slice it almost to the bottom. So, not all the way to the bottom. And then I'm gonna turn it the other way and do it cross hatch. Like so. God, this is so good. And it's got 2 onions. I love it. Okay, so we're gonna cut it there. And then I'm just gonna chop like so. Right, go down, and then we got chopped onions. Gonna get 2 more ingredients here. First of all, bone broth. Now, bone broth is really, really good for your overall gut health. Very calming to the gut, and it is a great balance to the meat, because the way our body is that we do much better. If you're going to eat animal products, you would do much better to eat the whole animal. We used to do that for the longest time, the whole animal, snout to tail, right? All the organ meats, making broths out of it, doing the bones. So when you add bone broth to the meat, you're getting a much more complete nutritional array into your body, and it is helping to mediate some of the downsides of just eating skeletal meat. All right, so now our secret ingredient. So we're gonna put in some celery seed. Now let me tell you, celery seed is great for your libido in particular, and that's why we call it the Horny Hamburger soup. So it's great for boosting your libido. It's also really great for your erections in general, because it's related to celery, and celery is fantastic for overall male sexual health. But what I would say with that, do I have the proper one sheet? Okay, well, I'm just going to eyeball it. What you got to be careful though is it's very strong. Yeah, it's got a very strong smell to it, and you can definitely overpower your dish. And so you don't need a lot of it to get that effect. So all we're gonna put in there is a half a teaspoon. Okay, half a teaspoon. Very good, and then that's it, I believe. All we're gonna do now is stir it up. And once this is stirred up, all you got to do is turn it on for, like I said, and let it cook for 8 hours. Okay, so I'm going to put this on, and we're going to turn on our slow cooker. So slow cook, and then we're going to put our time over to 8 hours, and start. And boom, I'm done. When I'm ready to eat dinner, just head on over here, grab me make some, pour some out, and in 8 hours time, I'll show you what this looks like. Okay, here is our horny hamburger soup. It is so delicious. Really looking forward to eating this. Now, if you feel like you need more broth in there, if it's not liquid enough for you, you can add additional bone broth, or you can even put in a couple of cups of filtered water in addition to the bone broth that was in there to make it a little soupier. If you like it soupier, I like mine a little thicker. But either way, enjoy your horny hamburger soup, and I will see you in the next slow cooker video. Hey man, I hope you got a ton out of this segment of the erection boosting slow cooker video series, where we are diving deep into fast, simple, and delicious slow cooker recipes that help us restore our birthright of having natural, long-lasting, stage 4 rock-hard erections. If you'd like to get free access to the entire erection-boosting slow cooker video series, make sure you click the link in the description of this video to register for free access to all of these life-changing videos in this series, along with some other surprise bonuses. Also, if you like this video, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe button, and turn on your notifications bell so you get all of the future value-packed videos just like this that I will be releasing for you to help you be the best version of yourself and have natural, stage 4, rock-solid performance. I will see you tomorrow in the next erection-boosting slow cooker video.